mysterious power that pervades everything.
Yo, 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 yo. We are back. This is I Stand on That podcast with another week of conversations. Always gonna bring y'all that fire. We always gonna bring y'all some catchables to put on t-shirts. You know what I mean? And DA, we were just going over this second topic, and we already have quotables. So we gonna get to it, but that's gonna be the second actual conversation. So we're gonna do introductions. I'm gonna start with myself. They call me Mr. Daily Insight. You can catch me on all handles: IG, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I'm there, Mr. 305 himself. Please make sure you follow us at I Stand on That podcast on TikTok. We'll be blowing up over there. Plenty of content for you guys to see. YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere, guys. Make sure you share this live with everybody. So we want to invite you guys to this conversation. So with no further ado, you could have been anywhere else. I know it's Sunday, football Sunday. Shouts out to all y'all sorry teams that's gonna lose this week. 2 times for y'all, but we're gonna go ahead and pass this over to Mr. Deep. I'll let him introduce himself. Looks like we can't hear him over here, so he got to get his freaking mic situation over there together. So within that, guys, we want y'all to basically tune in on these 2 topics. When you can talk, DA, just go ahead and chime in. When it comes to these topics, so the first one is going to be, let me bring it up here. Where is it here? So this is the first topic, right? Can you initially cuff someone you had sex with on the first night, right? That's the first conversation. So let me see here. Oh, guys, DA is having some trouble here with his freaking mic. So hold on 1 second, guys, and take a quick pause. All right, y'all. Mr. DA, he gonna come back. Looks like he having some technical difficulties when it comes to that. But listen, we got some topics that we gonna be discussing. I'm not gonna tell you what the second one will be right now, but it is gonna be a hot topic. You know what I mean, when it comes to kind of conversations, movements that are happening right now in this day and age. And make sure y'all go also cop a t-shirt. Y'all can go to iRock t-shirts right now to cop your actual t-shirt. This is where we get our actual information from. We got Mr. DA coming back. So this is where we get our t-shirts. All right, there we go. He's back. So this is where we get our t-shirts at iRockShirts.com. Make sure you go there and get your t-shirts made. Get your quotable t-shirts. Date them all to one shows them consistency. That came from one of our shows, and it came out of DA's mouth. So DA is Mr. Quotable, Mr. AKA shirt maker. This is what it is. When DA say something, we make a shirt about it. That's just kind of what it is. So as I was just saying, guys, DA, go ahead and introduce yourself, and glad you were coming back here, man. Go ahead.
Yo, it's a pleasure to be back on the show again, man. Every time that we link up and we have these discussions, I feel like the world becomes a better place. And so, today I think it's going to be a real good topic. I think it's an important topic because I think just right now we're in the midst of a cultural shift, if you will, and it might not seem readily apparent. Like a lot of people may not notice it, but it's one of those things that it's a seed that's being planted today that in a couple months, in a couple years, you're gonna be like, where did this come from? And it's gonna be, it's happening right now. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. And so we got some things that we're gonna talk about. I don't want to give it away just yet. So I'm gonna let Mr. Daily Insight just take the, kick things off for us this afternoon.
All right. So as we were saying, guys, make sure y'all follow us on all platforms. I Stand On That podcast all together, one word: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everything. We're there. You'll find plenty of content there. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and kick this topic off. As you can see at the ticker below, can you cuff someone you had sex with on the first night? I'm gonna say it one more time. Can you cuff someone that you had sex with on the first night? So that is a question, right? Should I go first? I think I should, right? But there's a whole lot of thoughts when it comes to it, and I'm gonna kind of build up when it comes to that, right? Can you have sex with someone on the first night? Just to answer the question. Again, we already got people in the chat already buzzing in. Let's let you go. Anne-Marie, our season 3 basically commentator guest that's extraordinary that's here, right? So can you cuff someone, right, that you've been with, that you had sex with on the first night? It's a yes and a no for me, right? No, meaning when it comes to having sex with someone the first night, it's kind of like first night y'all met or the first night y'all had sex with. That's a which one we discussing? You know what I mean? And Amory, yep, you sure can have sex on the first night. I'm sure and sure can cut them. So Amory already kind of chiming in, right? So I'm gonna say no, right? The first time. When it comes to the no, she said it ended up being the best relationships. Listen, we might have to have you on real quick since you just going in regarding that. But let me go ahead and finish. So if you can have some sex with someone that you cuff, right, or cuff someone you had sex with on first night. No, meaning you don't know this person's situation, like far as the past, if that's a pattern. Those are some of the things that me personally I would worry about, right? Because they can meet someone, you guys might be still dating. And then guess what? They meet somebody, still getting to date them, and guess what? Boom, it happens again with someone else. Mm-hmm. So that's a repetitive kind of just behavior that they practice, right? But again, you don't know them, from Adam and Eve. So I kind of worry about that. So that's why I say no. And then on the other hand, I can say yes to, you can cuff somebody you had sex with on the first night. Just like Anne-Marie said, it can be some of the best relationships, friendships, situationships, whatever it may be. So yes, you can, because they just you might give off a feel, or they might give off a feel like, you know what, this person brings this out of me. I'm not worried about being labeled a whore, whatever, because we already know it's a double standard with women having multiple partners versus men having multiple partners. So guess what? When it comes to that, I think you can, just depending on the vibe with the individual, kind of how you guys just mesh, how you guys gel. They may say, you know what, I never done this, but you just made me want to, and I'm not worried about the backlash that come from behind it. So I think you can in that sense. But it just depends. Or you can get to know somebody for a nice little minute, for 2 months, and boom, you have sex with them after those 2 months. Yes, it may not be the issue. You got to know them. But if you just met somebody, let's say you went out last night and you hit them last night, I may question it. You ain't got to know them. You don't know if they have an STD. You don't know anything. But you should be wrapping up anyway. I'm just saying still. But that's my 2 cents on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to you. I done said somewhat of a mouthful, but go ahead. I'm gonna pass it to you, sir. What's your thought?
I mean, I think absolutely. I mean, I think that, I'm glad Anne-Marie kind of brought that up. She said, "What's the meaning of the first night?" I'm gonna assume you're talking about it's the first time y'all. I don't know if I want to say is it the first date? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about first date.
But that's why I kind of build. I say if you can get to know somebody for 6 months, and then after those 6 months you have sex, or you could meet somebody the first night and then have sex the first night. So that's how we're going to have. So let's build it on those 2 foundations. So 6 months, first night versus the first time y'all met and had sex. So let's go off the first one. You build up about 4 months, and then that. Let's go with that.
I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh, man. What the hell is someone spending freaking 6 months trying to get laid? I mean, I don't know if you've been pursuing a woman for 6 months, and then there's a lot of ways that could shake up too. You know what I'm saying? It's like we may have known each other for 6 months, but didn't really go out on a date, and then probably it's the last 3 months. You know, that's when things are really getting more serious in terms of, you know, okay, you know what I mean? Like it's the two of us. But I'm gonna say, like, I really don't think that someone, let me just put this out there. It shouldn't take you 6 months to have sex with someone. I'm just gonna put that out there, right? It should never take you that long. Like, if it took you that long, she don't like you or he don't like you like that. Because when people,
well, we're through the 3 month rule, the 90 days.
It's going to feed into the second point. It's going. What I'm saying is about to feed into the second point, because when you like someone, or when two people like each other, they tend to move fast. You know what I'm saying? And when two people don't like each other, one, they don't move at all, or if one likes the person, the other don't, then it tends to move real slow until it's like, I think we should just be friends. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why when I look at situations when I judge a situation where, let's say this is the first time they met at the bar and they go home and do the thing, or, you know, there was at some point there was a conversation, and then y'all go on the first date. You know how people, you know, there's women that I don't cancel. They don't want to do a lot of things on a first date. You know, I get that, you know, but I look at it like if it's a real genuine, if it's going to be a genuine love story, right? You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, there's no real attraction there if it hasn't happened. You see what I'm saying? So because those people that you say that have sex on the first, so the reason part why they even last and they be the best relationship is because the attraction is there. Bam. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have
that energy.
It's the energy. It's the sexual energy. Yeah. Sexual energy is being reciprocated both ways, like boom, 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 boom. Like
whether it be like, not to cut you off, like when you meet somebody, you know, you can take conversations are on point. When you meet somebody, they're easy on the eye. You know what I mean? The physical interaction, the touching on the shoulder, the touching on the arm. You know what I mean? The looking deeply in the eyes. Those are the indicators that energy that's kind of like, yeah, you know, she might be thinking to himself, oh yeah, he finna hit these, he finna hit this tonight. Same thing. And then I know there's a thing, right? And Amber, you could tap in. When you meet somebody within the first 15 minutes, seconds, whatever,
you know,
women, y'all know if y'all gonna give them the draws or not. Point. And any woman can argue this. I want to have the debate. I'm willing. Bring that energy, because, and guys, you know too as well, whether in most cases
guys know from across the street. You heard me? Guys know from across the street.
Listen,
let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I could I'm right now in my backyard. I mean, I'm in a relationship, but right now I'm in my backyard, right? And let's say if my backyard had a bunch of people walking across, right? And just women, men, right? But if I seen the type that I like in that crowd, I know exactly right then and there. Yeah, I smashed that one. You see what I'm saying? Guys don't even need, huh?
In the yard, really? Just people in the backyard.
I mean, hypothetically, because I'm looking out to the backyard, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in this deep, and I can imagine like the distance. I can spot, a man can look across this, like across 100, 200, 300 yards and spot a girl that he likes. You know, men are very visual creatures, you know, and that's also due to evolutionary science in terms of being able to hunt, you know, fight, defend. You know, you got to use your eyes, right? You know, even in football, your eyes. And so that's how it is. Like, a man can identify, oh yeah, I smashed, and she thick. Oh, damn, she pretty. Like, you could tell, right? Like, a woman, you probably got to get a little closer and then she got to interact with you. But within that first 15, she know whether or not it's going up or it's going down. You know what I'm saying? And so I just had to say that piece real quick.
No, you're right. So when it comes to that, so and I think within that, like you say, and I think I used 6 months. That was far fetched. But you know how they're using the Steve Harvey rule, 90-day rule. You know, it's kind of, and it's more so me trying to, I guess, at this moment, analyze that. Are people really analyzing 3 90-day rule stipulations right now? I think, hey, listen, we like each other. What we waiting on? You know what I mean? And now people's more so, hey, let me test drive the merchandise. Let me test drive the merchandise because I might not even like it. You know what I mean?
So, and that's really cute. I mean, breakups happen. You know, you can break up after the first night. It's just like you can break up after 50 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, is that why everyone is picker is off? Just kidding.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, but expound on that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's how I look at the situation. Like, you know, if the attraction is there, and in y'all vibe, and y'all compatible, you get what I'm going with this? Like, yeah, what's the hang up? And then you know, but if there's not the attraction, if there's not the vibe, and there's no compatibility, then we should expect it to end, or not even to begin. That, you know, not even go that far. You know what I'm saying? Correct. Like, and women do that all the time. Women do all that all the time. Men do that all the time. It's a normal human phenomenon. Like, you just be like, all right, it didn't work out. Time to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, Anne-Marie, I also hear so many people not sexually satisfied. So yes, they are test driving. Yeah. So okay. So great. So they in the situations. Let's say they got married, or you know, just got into a dating phenomenon, and I had a individual. I ain't gonna say names and all that. So, but you know, someone, they were in a situation. Went to the game the other night, UCF game. They got their ass whooped. UCF.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
That was terrible. But anyway. So I was with someone. Yeah, I was with someone, and is a male. So he's having a conversation. He's with his woman, right? They've been together for about 7 years. He's thinking about marrying and stuff, but he's like, hey, you know, sexual chemistry is not there anymore. So I'm like, so what you gonna do? Man, I don't know. I'm like, and y'all not married yet? Because I would assume or expect, you know, in a marriage that it gets stale because you got kids, you got all type of stuff going on. It's kind of normal. But if you're dating someone and that's happening now, all I see is trouble leading down the way. You know what I mean? So y'all don't fix that. It's not a common thing that y'all can, you know, have and flourish in it. It's trouble. You know what I mean? I say, I don't know, bro. You might want to get some counseling, or just go back to the drawing table, have that conversation, because y'all having problems now and y'all still young in your 20s, and you only once a month. Once a month? Man, bro, ain't nothing but cut that thing. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's also and it's also too, I kind of deconstruct the situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? In what way are you? Yeah, no, but it's also like, in what ways are you not satisfied? Is it the frequency of it? But when y'all do have it, you have a good time, or even y'all have it a lot, but every time y'all have it, it's bad. Like, that's one that, you know, what type of issue is it?
Listen, I assume just because it was only once a month, that was the problem. I assume, but I didn't dig deep. That's a touchy topic, but he felt.
Then that's another question too, because it's like,
so
no, and then it's another question too, because it's like, you said he's in his 20s, so it's like
mid-20s at that, mid-20s.
Does he have his own place? What's the problem? Logistic, you know what I'm saying? Because there must be a logistical issue as to y'all can't. Yeah,
it's the girl's mother's house.
And what about him? He don't got his own spot?
It's the girl's mother's house. That's where they live.
Oh, that's his problem. And then He gotta fix it. Then whatever it is, he gotta fix it. He gotta either he gotta fix it or he gotta end it. because it's like if you both live there, if you both living under the roof, I don't understand. Then if her mom, and I'm just using this hypothetically, but we know generally. Let me first say this: when it comes to sexual chemistry issues, those are the questions generally you want to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the nature of the issue? You feel me? Is it a frequency standpoint? Is it the an enjoyment standpoint? Is it hygienic? You know what I'm saying? Is it related to experimentation? You know what I'm saying? Like that's those. So generally, you want to ask those questions, and I think two reasonable adults can problem solve once they've identified the issue.
That's the thing. Reasonably adults. So if you got one and you don't have the other, then it's not gonna mesh.
It sounds like too. You said he got 7 years, so he already feel bonded. So that's the other issue. He feels bonded. He feels, and she's probably, because you know what? They also tell us she's probably a good woman outside of that. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of that,
I don't know, because it been some other situations that I heard about. And again, I don't know her. It's just things that were said across the room and just me in passing about what type.
But I think it's an example of relationships today, though, right? It's an example of
explain that
issues that people have in their relationship with cheat.
Oh, okay.
Like like sexual satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? That often leads people either to cheat in the relationship if they don't believe in cheating. Or if they love the person really like that, work through it, figure out the issue, troubleshoot it. But that is something that, like, when people talk about, this person be sleeping with this many people, that why are we trying to shame someone for wanting to get their rocks off the way they want to get their rocks off? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because when you think about relationships, sometimes it feels like a setup where you can, like, you got to commit before you even know. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that. What do you mean by that?
Meaning, like I'm using an analogy. I'm gonna use sports as an analogy. Imagine, like, you had to choose the school you went to go to school, college-wise, without having to visit. You could not visit the school. You just had to choose a school, and that's where you was going. People would be like, I don't even know if if that school meets the needs, my unique needs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a big name. Oh, yeah, it's a private school. Oh, yeah, it's a small school with small classrooms. But, like, there's other aspects and other factors. That's why those campus visits are important. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And a part of the dating game cast so much judgment on sex in the dating game. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a carryover from the idea that you had to have sex in a marriage. You can't have sex outside of marriage. And so some of that judgment is a carryover from that. And it's like, we got to be realistic as human beings. You know what I'm saying? We all got different things that we into. That's why I tell my homeboy all the time.
So not to cut you off. So when you say that, because you brought up the marriage, well, the Bible and stuff, you brought up the Bible, not like straight up, but you mentioned, we can't have sex until we get married. What do you mean by that? Are you saying, like, well, I got to test drive it for the most part before, you know what I mean? Not saying we gonna intentionally. You might fall into it. You may not be all right. Well, we gonna see if we don't do it. But what if you fall into it? Then you're like, all right. Well, I fell into it. I'm like, all right. I like my sample. So you might keep on.
But here's the thing, though. What if you went to some kinky shit? But what if you went to some kinky shit she don't want to get involved in? You see what I'm saying?
What you mean, like?
And then what if you don't want to get involved in?
What
I don't know. I'm not gonna. It's just all the things you do that's kinky.
Okay. All
some
right.
people,
but it's subjective. It's very subjective. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is, you don't want to find out when you locked into a marriage with legal consequences that, I don't want to do that. No, you know what I'm saying? And that's what gets you off. You see what I'm saying? Like, what we talking about here? You feel me? Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to relationships, I think we need a little bit more deregulation, if that makes any sense. Like, we need to stop. Like,
if you were to kind of deregulate it, what would that look like for DA? So if I say, hey, deregulation on having sex before marriage, what would that look like for DA?
I mean, like, there's no judgment. I'm not going to judge someone for having sex for before marriage, and in the same breath, I'm not going to judge someone for ending a relationship because their sexual needs weren't met. I can't judge that person for that because that's important. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. That's part of having a winning relationship is 9 out of 10 of your needs are being met. You feel me? Like you can live
80-20. 80-20.
You gotta, but you want to want the majority of your thing. You kind of want to be like, because everybody ain't perfect too. So you're not going to get everything you want. I'm talking about to the fullest extent of what you want in a partner. You're not going to get all the things you want. You're not going to get. There's a very few women who can be all things to a man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to women, you're gonna have to pick what you want. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of leads into the other conversation that we're about to have is that when it comes to women, you gotta pick who you're gonna be. You feel me?
Pick your poison. Yeah.
Pick your poison. You gotta pick your poison.
Yeah.
And so go get the 80. Maybe you want 20%. I was about to say toxicity since we're talking about poison. But I'm just saying, if you can get 80-20, 90-10, you know what I'm saying? All right, then this, that's good. You know what I'm saying? But what I ain't gonna tell you though is to settle for 30% when you want, you know what I'm saying? That means you're not even getting half of what you want. That sounds like, why would you even do that when you're not even obligated to that person if you're not even married? You know what I'm saying? And if you are married, then ask yourself how really important is that? How important is that marriage to you?
No, tenfold. All right, Anne Marie again. He has explored why she isn't jumping his bone, or do they need to incorporate natural supplements? Because at that age, they both should be adventurous. Yeah, honestly, I don't think, Anne Marie, I don't think it's the supplements. I don't think it's just as DA said, it's the logistics, kind of where they are. I think it's time. Maybe he's into something. Well, I don't think he's into anyone because he's had plenty of opportunity to kind of, and I kind of using that example. I said, yo, bro, you don't, she's cute. You don't want to, nah, man, my girl. Like he's like for her, right? So I don't think he's trying to really go that way. He's trying to make this work. You get what I mean? So I think it's her. I don't know what's wrong with her. That's, like that's not functioning. It's not working. It's not this or not that. I don't know that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a supplement. I don't think it's that. Let me see. What's the other thing?
Let me say this real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Now, what I was gonna say is the game is 360. I was telling my cousin this yesterday, and I was telling somebody else this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the game is 360, right? It may not have nothing to do with him, too. It may be something that she's dealing with privately. You know what I'm saying? That she hasn't
disclosed.
Added a voice to it yet.
Yeah, hasn't disclosed.
Yeah, she hasn't disclosed. It could be anything from anxiety, her insecurity about her own body. You see what I'm saying? It could be
financial.
There's I hate to break it to both sides, but to the men, to the brothers out there, these women out here are real people. You know what I'm saying? They're real human beings. and to the women that's listening to the show, I hate to break it to you, but these men are actually real people. They're real human beings. You know what I'm saying? And so with that in mind, like, that's why I said, like, you ain't gonna always get what you want because, he might be perfect, but something might happen in 2 years from now that might send him down a spiral. You see what I'm saying? Because you never know, because everybody's on their own journey and their own path. And so it's like being sensitive to that. It's just like she might just be going through something and it ain't got nothing to do with him, but that's also, if I'm him, I'm asking a question, just to knock it out,
Yeah, I have to communicate. And I think nowadays having conversations, like what's really wrong and being vulnerable, and being intimate in those settings, as far as, communication, like hearing people out, really trying to seek for what's the word I'm talking? Seek for, discern kind of what's really going on and listen, not to talk and listen to basically, hey, let me see what's really wrong. Let me see what I hear and try to use context clues based on what you're saying to kind of dissect what's really happening. You know what I mean? Because sometimes some men, they speak in codes because, and I speak for myself, when I communicate or when I say when I used to, I spoke in clothes. I was very misled. I used to say stuff and people that really know me, like, that's not really what he meant. He meant really this. So that person kind of knew me and knew to kind of break it down. That I say, hey, this is what he really meant. But that's what I mean. Really getting to know a person and know honestly what they're really trying to say when it comes to stuff. So if they're not having those conversations, then honestly, then it's not going to work. So what Anne-Marie said, okay, when it's a thought, when it started off like that, if you wait until marriage, it was never really any restrictions. Okay. The women are complying with the men's needs for the most part. The men's for the
it's like I think too back then. Can I add something to this conversation that adds a little bit more color? I think back then too, porn wasn't readily available like that.
Bro, you gonna throw porn in?
No, I got to. You know,
all right.
Like, and the reason why I say that is because back then it was different society. Like even for folks who have family that were born in the Caribbean or Latin America or some other place that's not America, and then we go back 30, 40, 50 years, we're talking about tradition, like old school. You feel me? Like when the whole world was conservative almost. You feel me? There was no porn like that, right? So you didn't know how other people were getting it off. You feel me? You were kind of restricted to your own imagination of what you heard from your homeboys, but even then, that was still a small community. You get what I'm saying? Right. Now, with the with high definition pornography, you feel me?
Did you say high definition? And probably why you're saying that is because back then it was very granted. I'm not granted, but what's the
magazines? And then the
magazines. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. It wasn't. It's not like how it is on
VHS. The VHS.
Yeah. But even before then, even before then,
real quick and popping in.
Talking about like our parents or grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, but now like it's on your phone. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like that's when we've heard this conversation ever since porn became readily available, that a lot of women feel as if men have unrealistic sexual expectations because they're seeing these professional sex workers and they're holding their wives or their spouses to the same professional sex worker. But you know what? The catch-22 is if a woman has had multiple partners, that dude getting compared to all the other dudes she used to sleep with. You know what I'm saying? And then these days, she comparing that dude to that little toy. You feel me? And you know what I'm talking about. You feel me? And so there's a lot of,
Little jackrabbit.
Little jackrabbit. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to say, there's a lot of things in the game now that is that can be, screwing some shit up. You feel me? And so that's why, like you said, like having those conversations about expectations, you know what I'm saying? And really digging deep and also asking yourself, even if you say, oh, I ain't into that, why are you not into that? Really? Is it because you associated with, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's no, I'm a Christian. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like is it, you get what I'm saying? And so and because that helps explore, that helps uncover true compatibility. You know what I'm saying? At least when it comes to sex.
Yeah, and then when you added the like you say, the expectations of when men watch porn and they compare their spouses or their girlfriends. I'm gonna use DJ Envy. I don't know if you read his book or with him and his wife, but it's plenty of audio and video out there as far as on YouTube and he came out. He said, "Hey, man, you know what?" And this girl, Gia, I think that's her name. She came out and said, "Oh, my husband wasn't pleasing me for about 10 years straight."
Yeah, I heard about that.
So when you listen, when you hear that, it's a reason for that. And the point that you made, that's why I'm bringing it up. She said it, and then everybody was laughing. Oh man, you want to please your girl for 10 years? They clowning them. But it takes a real individual, real guy to be like to even have those conversations, because that's, you know, I mean, you're giving away some stuff. Most people keep that to themselves. But as men, as men, see, and that boom. I'm glad you said that.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on. I'm gonna make my point. Okay,
go ahead. Stand on it.
I'm standing on. We're not having these conversations, and we're not men enough to be like, listen, man. And as men, we don't like to be vulnerable to another man. Like when I say vulnerable, if I were to say, hey man, my girlfriend, she like, man, you know, or my wife, man, she like, oh man, you know, I ain't getting it done. It's been like 10 years, man. What you say to that? You might laugh first. Like, damn, what you got? You know, listen, you wee little, or you know, your tongue game ain't this, or what's happening? We ain't men enough to have these conversations and be like, bruh, I need some help. You know what I mean? But Envy opening up, and back to my point, what he was saying was he used that because it's a production when it's porn involved. Yeah, the male is kind of the dominant one. They want to see the male climax. They don't want to see the female climax for the most part, because they want to see that they want to see it after he's finished, right? So he said he looked at that as, oh, all they doing is doing it real hard. They're not sensual. He said that's what he thought sex should be like, and that's what he did to his wife, Gia. That's why she said she wasn't being satisfied, because DJ Envy was like, listen, that's what I thought was cool. And she ain't say nothing. They ain't had a conversation, the real conversation about, hey, listen, I'm not being pleased. I don't know what you're doing or what you're thinking or what you're viewing. It's not working for me. Once they had the conversation, oh, he's like, all right. So they took their time. They were more sensual. Back to what we call it was the build up, the conversation, the flowers, building it up. You know what I mean? You got to warm that car up, like what we talked about last week. Warm the car up first, and then you get the business. You know what I mean? So it just back to that whole thing. So that's why when you brought it up, that's why I was. You know what I mean? That's not. I mean, expectations. So.
No, I'm gonna say this. I guess I got to push back though on the men.
Please, that's what we're here for. Push back, right? That's what we're here for.
Because it's like, I like, at least for me, you know what I'm saying. At least with my relationships, like with my homeboys, like you know what I'm saying. The guys that I know, I keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Because and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me first tell you why I do. You feel me? Because I learned a while back. Like being honest, right, with someone is giving them permission to also be real. You feel me?
Correct.
Like if I, yeah, because it's like
that's not what we're here to do. Not to be honest, we supposed to kick it. We're trying to kick it with you just to make it sound fly to you.
But sometimes we hold it back because we're trying to be transactional. You see what I'm saying? Like I think we because we're not trying to go that deep. You see what I'm saying? But but hey, check me out. When we want to be honest, when we truly be honest, it's because we got to be transformational in that moment. Follow me. Okay. So what I'm saying is, like, if I got a relationship, right, out of convenience, let's say, I'm gonna say, I'm not even using my barber. Let's say something's going on with, at my job, right? Let's say it at my job. I got a relationship with a partner, right? And we're doing work and they give me work, blah, 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 right? Out of convenience, I'm going to suck up a lot of their negative traits just so I can get what I want accomplished, right? Right? But when I'm no longer beholden to that, I'm going to switch it up. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to transform. Where did this come from? It came from I don't need you in the way I needed you before. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm about to keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people do that when they need to just get through the day or get through the situation, not in a negative sense. It's just that I'm not trying to get that deep right now. Like they don't feel the need to keep it a buck all the way because it's unnecessary. You see what I'm saying? People keep it honest when they feel like it's necessary. For me, in my relationships, I'm like, well, we're not under no pressure and there's no scoreboard. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm going through something, I'd be like, yo, bruh, hey, I've been dealing with this, or such and such happened, and this is what's going on. I think what fellas need to be, what as men and women, especially when we talk to our own camps, we got to get to the point where we got to tell both sides of the story, though. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got to tell both sides of the story. We got to give it 100% real, so that way the people that you getting insight from, they know the whole truth, and then they can guide you. Oh, I know, bro. You didn't tell, because oftentimes we'll tell people the story, but we make ourselves look good, right? We don't ever come out and be like, you know what? Just before we get it started, I'm gonna let you know right now, I think I fucked up. You see what I'm saying? That's keeping it real. That's how I look at it. And so we don't. So when situations happen, especially when situations happen in relationships, people always want to tell their side, right? But they don't. They make their side look good. They make the other person look bad. But it's like
they dress it up. Dress it up real nice. Yeah.
Yeah, dress it up real nice so that they can hear what they want to hear. You see what I'm saying? And it's like,
but it's a reason. But it's a reason people do that, because they want. And I used to be like this as well. You want that immediate. Yeah, you on my side. Yeah, she should have done, or he, whatever it was, family member. It don't matter what it is. So it's like you tell your side. They say, yeah, bro, why they ain't do that? That's what I said. You want that immediate gratification, that microwave. Mm-hmm. But because we don't want to know what the real truth is, and I think in most cases we know what the truth is. So we give both sides. Guess what? Nah, bro, you were wrong. You were dead ass wrong, dude.
You wrong.
Or girl, you were wrong, girl. And just for that, you don't deserve. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. So yeah, you're right. I do that. And then here's the thing though. With my barber, it's not a transactional thing with me and him. When I say I'm blood raw with him, he blood raw with me. And I was transactional with him, but he's like that though, because he had those conversations with people, and boom, it'll stay there. You probably won't, you know what I mean? And I know that if I'm gonna have a conversation with him, we're gonna stay with him. You know what I mean? I don't see him on an everyday basis. I see him maybe once, twice a week, and we talking blood raw stuff. What he going through, what I'm going through, and yo, bro, you should do this. Hey, how about? And I say, hey, I've been through that before, bro. You tried this? Boom, we feeding off each other. You know what I mean? And I think that's a real relationship. I can say, you know what? It ain't it's just like we just talking, bro. Like I don't feel no type of way, telling my business, I don't care, and he don't care either. He told me so. I said, bro, why are you telling me this? Bro, you cool? You give me this? You know what I mean? So he said, and I told this was years ago though, and this guy traveled all different type of places all over Orlando, and I follow him everywhere I go. He just moved into a new building, an hour away from me. Trust me, I'm going to see him because I want that transaction. And he cut. Guess what? This guy, he used to cut the University of Miami football players back in the day. His barber. So he moved up here, whatever, and we talked about all that a long time ago, or whatever. So, but you're right. We should be telling the whole truth, and that's a T-shirt too. That what you just said.
We got to tell the whole truth because I ain't gonna hold you. When I tell people, I'll be like, if I'm in a situation, just to let them know what's going on, I tell them what's happening. But it's also I got to tell them the true history, what led to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was text messages when we went on that date, when we had that conversation, I give you the backdrop. So that way, going into the situation, this is where the person could have possibly been. You see what I'm saying? But I just think that's important. I think I had to push back because I think a lot of fellas, I think a lot of men are vulnerable. I think my disagreement with DJ Envy and that whole thing, I just would have went to the nation with it. You see what I'm saying? Like I would have been.
Wait, what you mean? Explain yourself.
It would have been broadcast so the whole world knew that I had a situation with my wife, and that stuff would have had made it out.
Well, he did. He didn't say it initially, but when the book came out, because they got a book when they went on their tour, he said it. She said it, and then he was like, DJ, look at him, DJ Envy, this true? Yeah. And sadly, he was like, yeah, it's true. He didn't want to say it. You know what I mean? But it happened.
Yeah, me personally, that would have been the part that would have been that one story that didn't make the book. It would have not have made the book.
But listen, what you just said, you have to be completely You just said it.
No, you can be completely transcendent. The whole world.
But here's the thing.
The world
Yes,
don't
you know
need
why?
to.
Because you know why? Because it's a man and a woman going through that same situation. And you don't think that book gonna help a whole lot of people, dude? Come on. Come
Dude,
on, dude.
it's gonna help people. I just don't. I wouldn't want that on my face.
See, having a book
I don't
deal
want
and,
that
and
on
telling
my
people
face.
your whole story is not for you, DA. I'm telling you that now. Because you're not gonna be completely transparent. Because that's what the people need. Complete transparency. Point blank period. That's what the people need. That's what the people need. And if you giving the half this and half that, bro, they're gonna be like, I know it's something deeper than that, bro. It's something deeper. When people cling to that true friend, like, dang, man, for real, bro, 10 years? How did you do with it? What was your mental state? Like, what, bro? I want to know. And you gonna help somebody. But if you like, nah, bro, I put it down. She ain't have no issues. She ain't tell me. Like, come on, bro, get out your ego and just have the conversation. What really happened? And
That's what I'm trying to say is,
probably,
because you know,
what you trying to say? You see my face?
nah, but you gotta understand, like, you know, I'm a lawyer, and now check me out. You know, I'm a lawyer, and you know, I'm in that space where you gotta watch, you gotta be careful what you say. I just think that and I'm being transparent right now. I'm being transparent. Like, this might come. Somebody might watch this video 10 years from now. I remember when you said this.
Mm-hmm.
But that communications wise, communicated differently. I would have put it under the rubric. We've been in a relationship for a long time, and it was still learning. 10 years into the relationship, that made our relationship stronger. You know what I'm saying? And really take it to a next level. And it was a wide range of things. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't any one particular thing, but I'm happy that we were able to discuss it, build through it, and really thrive and really enjoy ourselves as a couple and as two individuals who are committed to one another. That's how I would have said it. You see what I'm saying? And notice how I said,
look. Listen. No, listen. All right.
Marie, let me know.
Listen.
Like, should I be Biden's?
This is listen. I got my phone in. This is my phone in here, right? My phone is basically the ocean level, right? This is on top of it, right? This is where you are. You on top. You surface. You boom. This is you. You here. We want to get below the surface of what the hell you really mean. Don't do that. You just surface. You surface. DJ Envy and his wife they were here. Look, they were below. They were way down here, bro. Way down here with it. You can't do that.
You ever seen whatever you want? You ever seen those aerial shots of those dolphins, like swimming by the coast?
I saw one this morning. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
in the ocean.
You know how, like, closer to the top you see the dolphin, you're like, damn, look at that dolphin. Below that dolphin is deeper, but guess what? You only see enough of the dolphin, and you see a bunch of blue, and that's all they need to see. You know what I'm saying? They just need to see the dolphin and a bunch of blue when they take that aerial shot. They'll be like, damn, that's a pretty dolphin. That's all they need to know. When they want to be a dolphin, then we'll teach them how to swim like a dolphin.
Y'all on Twitter, y'all on YouTube, y'all on Facebook, y'all respond to DA. Let him know his nonsense, his rhetoric.
Talk me.
You got to get beneath the surface. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
It's just like you cleaning the outside of your car. Your outside look immaculate, but when you open that door, you see cups, you see food particles, you see cans, beer cans. All type of stuff, candy, M&M stuck inside the car. That's what you're saying, dude. On the outside, we're gonna be immaculate, but inside, don't worry about that. It's cool. Don't worry about the inside. That's basically
no. I ain't saying that. What I'm saying is, those who need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm not gonna be like Trump and put all the classified secrets out there for the world to see. You feel me? Like, it's going to be on this top secret, this special compartmentalized information. I'm going. That's how I am with it. There's some information I'm be like, yo, you can know this, and then some top secret shit. It's on a need to know basis, and she's the only one that needs to know. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then whoever is helping fix the problem if there's needing to be fixed. But it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff that be happening there's a lot of stuff that happens on a woman's end that doesn't make it into the news because, again, everybody don't need to know that You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they don't need to know all the crazy things that could have possibly happened. Like, you know, like even when women talk about their dating history, they don't get into the details of it.
Why don't they?
They got men they got men they don't even count in the conversation because they don't want to seem a certain kind of way.
Well, as we said,
tell you they you know what I'm saying, like, you know, and I'm not trying to get into the body count number, but I'm just saying that's
why I was going. That's why
that's a perfect example of information that nobody needs to know.
Just because it was trash women doesn't mean it didn't count. I'm gonna put that on the shirt. Just because it was trash doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yo, shout out to Our Shirts, man. Shout out to Our
Shirts. Listen, and I'm gonna say it here now. We will be doing an interview either here next week or the week after. Put that on everything. We're gonna be doing an interview, our first interview, season 3 with Our Shirts. He's gonna talk about his story, his journey, or everything he's been doing. And we're gonna basically, start kind of broadcasting that he will be on the show, guys. Y'all gonna be hearing this story. It's one of the shirts he made. He got plenty of shirts, hoodies. Listen, he'll talk about it. I ain't gonna get into that. But listen, that leads us on to our second topic. But before we go there, DA, what do you stand on this topic so we can go to the next one?
I stand on, you can find the love of your life on the first night.
I don't know if I can follow with that one. So what do I stand on?
Yeah.
Can you cuff someone you had sex with on the first night? You can. All I'm saying is, just be careful. Basically, this is one of these things I used to say. I'm gonna use football terminology. Know your 111, right? There's 11 people on the field, but know that person is what I'm basically trying to say. Know them so you can better make a judgment if that's a thing for you to do. All right. So next topic, Mr. freaking DA basically came up with this topic. I was like, I really didn't want to talk about it. I'm like, I didn't even understand where he was coming from. And right before the show, guess what I did? He had to send me some YouTube clips. I'm like, is this really a thing? But I guess it is. And lots of people are talking about it. So let me see here. This is the actual topic, guys. Should it be any backlash against the soft girl movement? Now, DA, before I let you kind of spearhead it here, because this is the topic that you want to talk on and discuss, I'm gonna get into a YouTube clip for someone want this guy real quick. So let me do that here. So we can even do that. Let me see, share. Let me hear. Can you see my screen? Windows share. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me see here. Because this is an interesting you brought up on here, and I'm like, I don't know about this here. You can see my screen? All right. You see the YouTube now? DA, you can see it?
Say it again.
Can you see the screen? YouTube screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen. It's not on YouTube. It's on Ring Central. Ring Central.
All right. Let me go to that one. All right. Let me go to YouTube. See, that post's already been up already, but hold on. My bad. Bear with me, folks. Let me see. Is it soft girl movement?
Yeah, soft girl movement.
All right. So bear with me, guys. Let me pull it right up. Which one is it? This one? Yeah, this is it. This is right.
Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail? Here we go. This soft girl era hustle. Listen, man. I know, like some of you ladies, I hope to help y'all, but I really don't care. But because y'all about to play yourselves horribly, and guys ain't trying to hear it. Here's the thing. You can't go from hot girl summer to soft girl era and just think nobody's going to go, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I just said, I'm not buying it. These guys, I don't know why y'all act like people are stupid. You can't go from, you know what, I don't need no man. You men ain't nothing. You know, you'll never be nothing. I'm better than you. I don't need you to, I need a high value man. And I just want to be in my femininity. You can't go from that.
All right. So we gonna get away from it. So y'all got a small little glimpse, a gist of basically, let me stop sharing this real quick, of initially kind of what's going on with this soft girl movement. So let me see here. So DA, so briefly, bro, as the guy just kind of explained, what the heck is soft girl movement? Like, just break it down further so we understand and we're on topic of what initially is a soft girl movement, because I was completely clueless at 9 a.m. when you text me, or whenever we spoke via text about this.
Yeah.
Okay, take it away, man.
Yeah, like the soft girl movement is a movement partially inspired by, you know, Kevin Samuels and other femininity coaches in the dating space, where it's more, it's centered towards women getting in touch with their feminine side, right? Being okay to be soft. It's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be in your feminine, be sweet. It's okay to be these things, as opposed to what society, capitalist America, has pushed these women to be more masculine, more aggressive, more is like taking the bad qualities of men and whatnot. And so that's where we are. That's what the soft girl movement is. And my issue with the whole debate is, we can't go from asking women, like, you know, there's been a lot of uproar in the past couple of years about, you know, men like Kevin Samuels and how they've been saying, oh, you're going to be dying alone, da 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 da, and if you don't want to die alone, you need to be
with your 10 cats in your wine.
With your 10 cats, you know what I mean, in your bottle of wine, you need to be fit, feminine, and cooperative, right? And so, in a lot of becoming that stuff entails women really leaning into being a woman. You know what I'm saying? Not having to feel so strong. Let a man be strong. And not having to feel so, I gotta do this wrong. Let the man do that. You know what I'm saying? And this is like, and I kind of agree with the whole concept, because it's like, you know, I view myself as a traditional man. So I look at, you know, I kind of want, if I'm going to deal with a woman, I kind of want her to be a traditional woman, right? I want you to be.
So is that by every sense? And when you say that,
what do you mean? By every sense, yeah, that's every sense. And what I mean, and I say that by every sense is because, you know, obviously to be that, to really be that guy, it's going to ask you, it's going to push yourself in areas, and it's going to force you to step up in ways, and that should be okay. You know, because in many ways, I believe as men we're built for that, and so it's like, because as I understand it, and as I've been in, you know, relationships, like my most successful relationships have been with, you know, really girly, feminine women. You know what I'm saying? Those dainty type women. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the big roughneck, real masculine, real aggressive, real you know, real tough women, and that's just me. But and this is where the conversation is going to take off. You know, that's a lot of women have grown up in families, right, that they grew up with single mom, and they seen their mom have to take up all the burden, right? With that, we're not just simply talking about mom as mom. We're also, these younger women, their mom as an older woman in the dating game. So she's not only trying to provide for them, but she also is looking out to take needs. You see what I'm saying? And so there's often some frustration with that, especially when you have series of bad relationships, right? Toxic relationships, abusive relationships. So that causes a lot of, you know, from what I've been hearing, what I've been understanding, what I've been seeing, causes a lot of women to put their guard up, to be a little bit masculine, to be a little bit more defensive, to get into the, I don't need a man, type kind of conversation. And so when I hear men now attacking women who are saying, you know what, I don't want to always be strong. I just want to be soft. I don't want to have to be tough. I just want to be treated like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman. I don't want to be treated like a man. I want to be treated like a woman. I think it sounds crazy to me.
It is, because that requires the woman to do what, DA? If she wants to be this certain type of way, what does it require her to do? Or the other end, what does it require the male to do in that situation?
Yeah, it requires a man to take them to fully occupy the masculine role. You know what I'm saying?
So what
and
does
that
that
doesn't
mean?
mean that.
What are those list of things when it comes?
Yeah, I mean, this, we can talk about the 3 P's of protect, provide, preside. You know what I'm saying? And then it's also just being a clutch performer. You know what I'm saying? Like this, life is hard, but being able to catch certain things, being able to help certain things, really showing a lot of leadership outside of your wallet too is important. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's leadership. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women have been taking on these leadership roles where they really do want to kind of let go of some things, because I don't know if a lot of men understand this. A lot of women thrive. Women thrive in their femininity, just like when men thrive in their masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what, like, a lot of men, they're the happiest when you actually go test their mood and you do a blood sample, you do a blood test, and you go ask them questions of their mood. Those who like register high in testosterone and doing testosterone boosting things, they tend to have a better mood, because that's what testosterone does for a man. It makes him happier, makes him confident, makes him a leader naturally, because it's flowing through his body. But part of that is also it helps him fight against stress. You know what I'm saying? When you got all that anxiety coming, like when you got all that testosterone, you kind of look at that pressure. It's like, this is my proving ground. I get to really go off, right? And I get to really, take on this challenge. And when I overcome this challenge, it's a crazy dopamine boost. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got these football players, these athletes, they go through these grinding seasons. They go through the playoffs, which is even harder to win that championship. It gives them a stupid, dopamine release. Just like you've been working hard on your business, you've been grinding, putting the hours in. And then when you finally hit 7 figures, you're like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because you're going to feel more confident, because you know what I'm saying? You're affirming yourself.
And nobody going to tell you nothing. Like, you like, all right, I got this done. Guess what? I'm finna start another one.
Yeah,
I know how I feel. I know how I feel. So I want to go through it again. You know what I mean?
I was listening to Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti was like talking. I think the interview he was having with somebody. And if you don't know who Yo Gotti is, he's the founder and CEO of CMG. You know what I'm saying? It's a record label based out of Memphis, Tennessee. And he was talking about like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. Meaning like he's financially set, family good, all that stuff. But he was like, but I'm a hustler still. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler still. So it's like, I just can't just not do nothing now that I'm good.
You can't turn it off.
No. He can't turn it off. But that's a man that's in his purpose and in his masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't turn that off, right? And a lot of men got to understand too, a lot of women thrive in their femininity, being able to give and receive love. Like, that's how women they operate. When she can't give and receive love, that's going to cause this breakdown, and it's going to be damaging to her psyche. So when I hear men talking about, I can't take you serious if you're obviously there's going to be women that's going to be posing as if they that type of girl, and then when the rubber meets the road, you just a modern girl that looked like you was a traditional woman. You know what I'm saying? You're a modern woman wrapped in traditional aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? And how you act and how you behave and maybe how you dress. But the truth of the matter is, it's good for women to be soft. We need soft women in society. We don't need these warrior women. Like, if it push come to shove, just like, we had a conversation prior to starting the podcast. If something were to happen to you, you feel
it's just like when it comes to that, right? yeah, all right, somebody else is going to step up and be that. But you got to know, as I mentioned before, it's your 111. It's knowing the person that you're with. If you're knowing you get with this woman and she's not going to step up and that's not what you want, then all right, well, you may have to reevaluate who the heck you're being with, who the heck you're, tying yourself down to. And like you said, we were saying before, I know plenty of women. My mom was one of them, right? Did she want to be all the time? No, she didn't. She was looking for that one male to step up and say, hey, guess what? I want to take some of this soft girl energy and I want you to bask in it, and I want you to be in that. But she couldn't do that because why? She had 3 kids. She had bills to pay, 2 jobs or whatever. And guess what? It'd be some nights still. We were struggling. Lights get cut off. Guess what? We ain't tripping. Because listen, that's just what it was. And it taught us as I grew older, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna hustle. I don't never want to be as an adult having my lights cut off. Why? That shit felt terrible as a little kid. You understand? But the whole thing is, guess what? She had a situation, mom did get married, right? But guess what? She was able to, those 2 years, my mom was able to relax. She take more trips. You know what I mean? She kind of, mom, what you do? Oh, I'm gonna take a trip. I'm gonna go get my nails done, get my hair. She ate to relax. You know what I mean? But before those moments, guess what? She couldn't because she would stay grinding and stay tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She can't always just look so pretty because I just came off work.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. I couldn't go get my nails. I couldn't get my nails done. I couldn't get my hair done. She just did the best that she could. And I'm gonna read something, Dia. You sent me a link earlier.
When she wanted to do certain things, right? When she wanted to do some things for herself, she's probably thinking to herself, that'd be better off it'd be better off if I took that money and gave it to Anthony so he could do the thing he wanted to do at school.
Correct.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
Correct. You're absolute. Yeah. It's sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice that came with that. And then she had to worry about herself last. Listen, let me be honest. It would be moments my mom would make sure we all ate, and then we didn't have, and that was all the food, and we wanted seconds. Guess what? She let us get the seconds, and she sat relaxed. Is it, mom? Is it more? Did she want to say, nah, y'all already ate? Nah, go ahead, because I know y'all hungry. And she let us eat the food. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's the sacrifice, and that takes a toll on you. You know what I mean?
Takes a toll on you. Thank you. Thank you.
Not at a stage, my mom, she can quit her job if she wants to or whatever, but she's doing her thing, but she's taking more trips. I guarantee she'll take about 10 trips before this year is out. She's doing more of the traveling and being in that space, being around her women friends and hanging out and stuff. But as males, we've been dropping the ball, right? Not allowing. That's why this movement is created, I guess, because even though, like you say, it should receive some backlash. But as males, we need to take responsibility when we're dealing with and handling women, knowing what their expectations are, and knowing, being a male, hey, this is what I'm going to bring to the table. So I want you to act in that space. You know what I mean? So we're not, as men, and that's what we was talking about earlier. We're not in that space. Sometimes we're allowing a woman to lead, and now we're wondering why she's looking at you crazy. Oh, I'll respect him. I'm not respecting him because he's not stepping up to the plate. He's not making this easy for me or less easy, whatever the case may be, because we're not operating in our masculine capacity to allow that woman to be feminine. It shouldn't be a movement, right? It shouldn't be movement here. It stop, movement here and stop. No, it should be a continual thing. You understand?
It should be a way of life.
Correct. We should be positioning ourselves to be that, right? And every day, right? I didn't have my old boy in my life. It's not an excuse for anything. So I have been learning amongst the years to kind of how to operate in that actual space, as far as working and things and hustling. Yeah, that's different. But then it's not overprovided. You still have to kind of support and be supportive to your woman and just be there for her in that space so she can allow her to be who the hell she is. So a lot of that, this movement, we can say, and I would say, is part of us males not stepping onto the plate. What you think about that?
I mean, I can agree to an extent, right? I can agree to an extent, and I think, but at the same time, don't get it twisted. I can see the other side of it, right?
Which is what?
Because we live in the Instagram, we live in social media world now. You feel me? It's no longer are we just stunting for the neighborhood. We stunting for the world to see, and anybody else that might come across us or hear about us that want to know about us, they go to the Instagram page. You feel me?
Hit
And
me
so
up.
on
Yeah.
the Instagram page, that's where everybody's highlights are, you know. And my only issue, or the one thing I just want to remind when it comes to the soft girl, don't try to tell me you trying to be on this soft girl stuff just so you can just live this materialistic life. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay.
You getting dolled up. You at all the events. You at all the parties. You at all the events. Yeah, you look, and you are living a real carefree life. Probably somebody sponsoring you, right? Or maybe it's going 50-50. I don't know. Or maybe he take care of your bills and you take your money, you take care of yourself, you go to the spa, you do all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, because it's important, because we gotta understand, like, we here to help, we here to be supportive of one another. So the reason why you need to be soft is so you can pour into him. And he needs to be hard so he can pour into you. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense.
And protect you from all the other stuff outside.
Yeah. So what's the point of, let's say you the dude, you over here supporting and you providing, you protecting, you doing all that stuff. You doing the 3 Ps, right? And your girl, she iffy when it comes to the sex. The conversation we had earlier. She not supporting you with what you got going on. She's not inspiring you or giving you encouragement. You know what I'm saying? She's cheating on you. She's disrespecting you. Like, what's the point of all that? Now you're doing all this work. You're doing your job as a man to pour into her, but now she's soft, but when it's time to pour into you, she giving that energy to somebody else with other things. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't just to, I'm gonna be a soft girl so I can just live a life of lavish. No, it's to be of value to the person that is giving you the space to be soft. You know what I'm saying?
So you think so what you're saying is it's very disrespectful for a male to put you in that state to be soft, but you take advantage of his duties as a male. Is basically what you're saying? Yeah.
Okay. It's no different than a dude. You got a good woman, she holding you down, she doing all that good, she doing everything majority of men would want. She fit, she feminine, she cooperative, she supporting you, but at the same time, here you pouring all that energy on shit I'm poured into you. Now you pouring it out into the streets. Now I can understand the argument, hey, I'm a dog, I gotta do what I gotta do, whatever. But it's like you just kind of you're ruining, you kind of just ruined her, or you kind of screwing it up for you, screwing her mental up by doing that. Just like she would be screwing your mental up if she did that to you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like because that is to help you give back into her. Mm-hmm. That's my issue. That's my big issue when it comes to the soft girl. It's just like when a man say, "Oh, I'm getting on my purpose. I'm gonna do this and that and that." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do it. Yeah, but it's also so you can be of value to everybody that helped you build that value, your family.
And then I'm gonna add to that what you're saying. This is an article you sent me that I read. It said more than just a soft, authentic. This trend motivates us towards a soft lifestyle, one that focuses on relaxation, leisure pursuits, space to explore hobbies.
Yep.
Unlocking our creativity and spending time in and around nature. So when I hear that, I don't hear allow me to support my other half, to be there to cook and clean and different things like that. I don't hear any of that when it comes to this movement. So that's where I have that issue. All what I hear based on that title and description of what a soft girl movement is I want to do me, and that's all I want to do. So in that take, I would have an issue with that when it comes to this.
I would have an issue with that. Like, it's just like there's now, if you're making your own money and you can afford that for yourself, but that's all well and good. But most women out here, they trying to make it. They trying to, pay the bills. They trying to get through grad school. They trying to, get that business off the ground. They got 1, 2, or 3 kids that they thinking about. They got parents that, and probably other siblings that look to them for family leadership because they the oldest or second oldest, or they the one just to be the most responsible person that got some sense on their head. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, when I think about it, it's like, we because I think at the end of the day, we got to remember what we all doing this for, and that's we all doing this so that we can develop, create, and engender a stronger community. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in a neighborhood where everybody, when the families are loving, that's a real powerful community, because there's nothing that they can't do. There's nothing that they can't do. There's nothing that they can't do, because there's nothing that they won't do out of love. You see what I'm saying? But when we got that brokenness, like those communities that we say are broken, often there's stress tearing that ass up. There's anxiety tearing that ass up. There's pressure and poverty tearing that ass up. That's why people don't have the time to be soft, because stress tearing that ass up.
Yeah,
tearing it up. And it's like for both men and women, we can't operate at
our capacity. Yeah.
Being in stressful situations over a long period of time. That's what leads people into serious mental health issues.
Mental health.
Yeah. So if it's soft girl, if you're soft girl, so that you can be the best version of yourself.
I hope a soft girl just jumped on. If you a soft girl, or if you're in your feminine energy, chime in the chat. We didn't get any other comments on this topic. But if you are, chime in. We want to hear your thoughts, and don't be shy. Don't be shy. Go ahead, man.
No, but if being a soft girl is being the best, most feminine version of yourself, and really giving you the mental health capacity that you want, then what I'm saying, it's so that you are in a position where you can give and receive love. You know what I'm saying? Give and receive. Then give and receive. It's supposed to be nothing, but you're supposed to be a love factory. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but supposed to be love.
Not receive, not like a kick return, a punt return.
Or just show me up, shower me in with attention, give me all these gifts. No. They're gonna give you these gifts. They're gonna give you this attention. They're gonna give you the support you need, so that in return, enriching everybody else that you got in contact with. Everybody that you in contact, you can enriching them, because that's why those are the real people. Like, you be like, man, bro, like, because I ain't gonna hold you. You don't need to be rich or to get my love. You just got to show me love. You know what I'm saying?
The action, it's all action.
Yeah, it's just like, you got to show me love, and because that's what really matters in the end, right? Hospital bed. You don't care what's in that person's bank account. It's like, did you visit me? You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You caught up in the jam. I don't care. Like, it's like, will you support me? Will you help me through this? Can you at least be by my side? You know what I'm saying? That's love. You feel me? Because if people forget, that's what we in this for. We in this for that. We in this for that.
No.
I mean, I've been talking. Like, give me your thoughts.
No. It is. That's just like with anything. And honestly, we want to go back to biblical standpoint. It's better to give to receive anyway. And I had a hard kind of way of understanding that growing up as a kid. Why is it better to give? Why is it better to give? Why is it better to give? So I see things, right? I do like homeless drives every now and then. When I was younger, of course, and I did a few as an adult. But when you give to people who don't have, it's just like that response, that kind of gratitude that you receive back from them is priceless. You know what I mean? So if I can be in a position to help somebody, and it's not going to hurt me financially any way possible, you might sacrifice some time, sacrifice a few dollars. But if you give to people, you know what I mean? Like overall, no matter if they're poor or not, and they really appreciate it, you will receive that gratitude. And that honestly, that feeling from receiving that is better than what money can buy, bro. For me. You know what I mean? So if I see that, it's kind of like I want to do more of it. You know what I mean? If I see somebody appreciate it, like I get somebody something. Like I was younger, I came home from school. I had a black light, right? You know, light up the room and all that. So I gave it to one of my brother's friends, and I was doing, man. He's just like, man, thank you, bro. Bro gave me a hug, and I thought it was just small. It ain't cost nothing. I had an extra one.
Yeah.
And guess what? He took care of it. 20 years later down the road, go in his room. Bro, that's that light I had? Yeah. Bruh, I gave him a hug.
He really appreciated that.
He took care of it.
You gave him a hug.
So what that showed me, he really appreciated it and he valued what I gave him. He cherished it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and you don't even know where he was coming from before you did that.
Exactly.
So you doing that, coming from where he coming from. He like, dang, bro, you don't know how much I appreciate this.
He said, I always wanted one. You know what I mean? It was just deeper. And I think if we do this in relationship, if we find out what is that thing that makes people tick, if it's an accident, like we go back to the 5 love languages. I don't know if you know about Dave Chapman, I believe. Acts of service, gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. We all operate from 2 primary love languages, right? And if you find out what your partner's on is, just ask them a question, or you can do the quiz. You will find out what are those things in relationships that can help that person. And like, for example, let's say DA, your love language is quality time and acts of service, but your girl and it doesn't have to be like a dude female, right? It could be in a friendship. You know what I mean? So it don't matter what it is. If you find out what that love language is, if I know, DA, you just like, man, it'd be like, hey, man, you want to spend time. I said, let's go hang out. Let's go here. Let's go to a bar. And you just like doing that, and that's just your thing. Guess what? You're gonna appreciate that. You're gonna cherish that time. If it's quality served or whatever it is, it's just whatever that thing is. If we understand that with human beings, what their love language is, it'll go further. You know what I mean? Most people appreciate that, and then you can kind of just grow from that. We got those 2 primary. But you can flourish all those other ones as well. But 2 primary are needed to basically kind of continue on in life. You know what I mean? So I think that's a staple for people. You know what I mean? So, and it goes with relationships when it comes to that.
No, it does. No, and you know what it is too? It's like, I seen somebody say this, and they were joking on Instagram, and they were saying like, I don't care if I got a PS5 for free, I still ain't giving no man that full gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they be like, I ain't buying you this, I ain't buying you that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't giving a man this.
But here's the thing though. If gifts, if that man's quality, his hot button, his one of his love languages, he gonna appreciate, he gonna cherish. Hey, whatever you need, I'll run through a brick door. And he loved playing video game like me. I love playing video game. I don't have always the time to do so. But if I could sit here for 2-3 hours and play video games, and the missus coming, girl, whatever, and this is kind of like, oh, you want something to eat? Oh, while I'm playing, oh, sure. You want something to drink? Oh, sure. Or you want to go pick the kids up, or you want to go pick your parents up, whatever it is, and you allow me to do that? Oh man, whenever, hey, when you want to go on the next trip, I got you.
No facts.
Here's the car. Here you go. You're gonna run through a wall to make it happen because
you'll be like, how much money you said you need? All right, here's 2 more. Here's 200 more.
Here you go. And but everybody has to tap into whatever that thing is. You know what I mean? So once a person feel like they being loved in that manner, man, they'll run through a wall for you, man.
And that's the other thing too. And that's why I was like, I don't understand the backlash against the soft girl movement, because I'm like, if that's your girl, bro, if that's your girl and you love your girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you want her to be in her best, put her in her best position? Why wouldn't you? I was, college football season is back, and if we got some college football people, they might have or any football people or sports people, y'all might have an issue with what I'm about to say. But I was having this discussion with my cousin and my brother, and I was like, one of the biggest pet peeves is when teams don't play to their strengths. You know what I'm saying? You got a strength. This is something that y'all do. It could be a screen game. It could be your defense. It could be your quarterback. You have a strength, play to your strength, right? And so it's like if your girl is telling you these are the things that
It's universal.
activate me,
It's
you know what I'm
universal.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, play to her strength. Play to her
Mhm.
strength. Put her in the best position to succeed. We're not going to take her out of position. We're not going to take her out of alignment. Put her in the position where she needs to succeed. You know what I'm saying? If she wants quality time and that's what's going to put her in the position to succeed, girl, you're going to get your quality time. You see what I'm saying? If it's acts of service and you love your girl, right? Because you know what I'm saying? If you love your girl and this act service, you're going to do the act service. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's about to come back because that's what's putting her in a position to succeed. Yeah. That's in putting her
go ahead.
in position to open up. Girl stuff like what if that's what she needs? You feel me?
Yeah. No, I get it. And you were going in and out there a little bit, but I get your point, and I like the analogy that you use with the whole football. Listen, put your girl in position. Like these coaches, they try to do all this fancy stuff, but it doesn't work for them. It has never worked with the players that you have. It's not going to work. So why go away from something that you're not used to? Your muscle memory is not there for it. It's going to yield negative results. So why do you even doing? So I like
committed. I'm committed to this. I'm doing it this way. Yeah. And you gonna find a person that do it that way too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
that's it. You're right. So I get it. And yeah, so with this movement, it's getting a lot of backlash because it's like, okay, how come now? And what does it all mean? But if it truly means what it really means, then they're more so staying. I was looking at the articles and stuff, and then the YouTube videos, like it'll go away. It's just a movement, like it'll go away. And they're saying, "Oh, hot girl summer is over with," which is meant, all right, we're gonna spend these niggas bread. We're gonna go on a dime, yada yada yada. Or no. I can't remember which one it was. Either we spend all their money, they're gonna fly us out through this hot girl summer, we're doing what we want, and then we're gonna have a feminine moment that allows a male to put you in a position to be in this movement. You can't do it by yourself for the most part. And that's what some of these YouTubers are saying. Yeah, y'all can't stand it, nigga, but it takes a guy to put you in that movement. You may not feel as though it's needed because you're just so, that's why you feel that way. Because you feel as though you can do it by yourself.
That's why you feel that way.
Correct. That's why you feel it. So I feel as though a male can put you in that position so you can be more this and that. Can a woman, to a certain degree, it depends on the woman though, bro. It just really depends on the woman, what she doing, what she got going on. So, you can see some women, they're kind of dainty. They don't need a whole lot of money. They don't need a big house. They don't need a nice car. They chill with what they are. They probably have a kid and they could be dainty. They could be chill, relax, and that's just kind of what it is. Versus a woman, she got to have
love.
Yes.
Full of love. Full of like full of everything else that you want. Like, God damn, boy. Like I was feeling sick the other day. She came through in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's what you're gonna end up needing. And the other thing I was gonna say is this: I think what we also got to remember, like everybody at a different point in their journey, right? We got the early 20s, you got the late 20s, you got early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, so on and so forth, right? And I'm like, yo, because it is what it is. Is me saying this is just recognizing the reality of the situation. When you're young, all right, go ahead, be a hot girl. Just like I would tell if you're young, go ahead, be a wild boy.
Do your thing, get it all out your system.
You know what I'm saying?
Do your thing,
yeah. Because when you get older, to get what you want, you will have to transition from hot girl to soft girl, right? And just the same thing with a dude. To get what you want, you're gonna have to transition from being a wild boy to a boss.
To the P.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got it because now, because we can't be irresponsible no more. You know what I'm saying? Now we gotta think calculated. We gotta be strategic, and we have to have a program. We got to have an option, how we want things to be laid out. Hey, when you're a wild boy, you don't need no structure. The older a man gets, he needs to have structure. He needs to have a structure. He needs to have an wants. He needs to have like a Nick Saban. He has an idea of how he wants to run his football team. You saying? Yeah, early in the career, you were figuring it out. You got an idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and it works for him. So yeah, he went, was at Alabama for a while. It worked. He tried to take his same philosophy as a dictatorship, which in the NFL, bro, ain't no dictatorship, baby. The players.
He was at LSU before he went. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
He was at LSU.
LSU, right? LSU went with the Dolphins. LSU, Alabama, then went to the Dolphins, then came back. So in college, Saban, this is his thing. He runs a straight dictatorship. So it's his way or the highway, right? Same how Bill Belichick kind of runs the NFL, which that's a little different when it comes to wanting to be.
Well, that's who he learned from. That's his. Yeah.
Correct. So he tried to take that same philosophy, which that's a different person. Belichick's a different person than Saban. Two different individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Belichick been doing this for the years. This is his mantra. You either get with it or you don't, but he's got championship to back it up. But Saban's personality didn't allow him to go into the NFL to act the same way as Belichick does. The players now, they don't respect him. He's only lasted, a year? And went back?
Like a year, yeah. And then went back.
Yeah, a year and a half. But he went back. He said, you know what? That's not my personality in the NFL. I got to go with what works for me, where I kind of make the show. I run the show. Went back to Alabama, and that's what it is. And his players would say, hey, ain't nothing to do. It's a straight dictatorship. We ran like an army. And that's just what it is. But it works. And just like we could transform this, like you got to find out what works or who works for you. If you're going to be, hey, listen, this is what happening. And if your girl ain't going to get aligned with that, she probably ain't one for you, the way you want it to be run. But if you want to get with somebody, just like in Coming to America, how Arsenio Hall and Eddie were basically, they were fighting. And Eddie was like, man, you don't want a woman you can just tell, bark like a dog and get on one foot and roll around in the mud and you cool. Eddie, Arsenio was like, that's who I want. Eddie say, nah, I want a woman that I value her opinion. That's what's going to work for him. You remember that scene when they was fighting? He said, I remember that scene. That's all. He said, that's how it's been with men in power. You just get your woman, throw a bunch of money at her, and she's going to do what the hell you want her to do. But what's the name? Say, nah, I want to do things differently. I want somebody I can value opinion. I can talk to her. I can have a conversation. And she's not going to do everything I tell her to do. She's going to have an opinion. That's the woman he valued, which is Lisa. Lisa ain't take no shit from nobody, did she? No, she didn't. You know what I mean? So because she ain't take no shit from her boyfriend that she was dating. So guess what? Again, we're gonna wrap this up. When it comes to that, like you just got to find that individual that works for you. Now, regarding on what I stand on this particular topic, we can have backlash, right? Here's why though, because when it comes to the woman, we have to be as men aligning the woman so she can have a lifetime of Soft Girl Movement versus a movement of Soft Girl Movement. You know what I mean? Now, if we're going to have this Soft Girl Movement and these women like, oh, I want to do X, Y, Z without these other expectations of when they get with a male and they just want to be Soft Girl, they want to travel and do it, and you want to have no other responsibilities to pour into that guy, then I want backlash on that. So if that's exactly what's being said, then I understand or see what the actual backlash is from. So again, you just told me this today. I ain't know nothing about it. I'm gonna start looking into it a little bit more and see what everybody's saying and see what the definition of this is. So, but I can see why I can get backlash. I can see why. Based on that definition I just gave to you, I can understand the backlash. So, what are your last thoughts?
My thoughts is just like on the surface of it. Like I'm all for like Soft Girl Movement. Digging under the surface, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be authentic. You know what I'm saying? That you authentic about it, that you really, it's not you just soft just to I just want to be soft and whatever that means. And just, it's like, yo, you don't add no value to nobody else. Like, nah. because that's just like you just kind of taking. Now it's just like, yo, like you get all this softness, it's for you to just pour into other people. You know what I'm saying? If that's your spouse, that's your spouse. If that's your community, it's community. But
if it's your kids,
if it's your kids, point to your kids, because if you're doing all that and it's giving you time to get into your hobbies, that's great, because that's unlocking like your creativity, that's unlocking your nurturing ability. Shit, you might start to you might be able to, you will be then like, you know, mixing things, right? You're gonna be creative with the things that people find value in, and people gonna be like, dang, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? You're like a godsend at that point.
correct.
And so so my thing is, it got to come from a place of authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Soft girls have to come from a place of authenticity. Just like, you know, men, when we talk about being a man and you're hearing conversations about being alpha, it can't just be performative, right? It got to come from a place of substance. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what it is. Like for men, being masculine got to come from a place of substance. And then from women, being feminine got to come from a place of authenticity.
All right. No, I dig it. And like I say, as these and when did this movement start? Is it this year, this month, last month?
It just started percolating. That's what I'm saying. It just started percolating over the past few months, particularly after Kevin Samuels passed away. It started really rising to the top. Just in terms of internet conversation, social media conversation. And that's why I said it's a cultural shift. I think this is we're gonna see like a shift. I wouldn't be surprised if like a movie is made and
based on this.
Now, like just like how Stella got her grooves back, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a movie or something made that references the soft girl movement
or captures this whole,
and then it shifts. Yeah. And then it shifts women for a generation, for the next 20, 30 years, in a direction where it could, not to say it's going to be a rejection of feminism, anything. It's a rejection of the masculinization of women. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it said it's been around for a long time. Okay, the confident woman.
So explain that, Miss Confident Woman. And honestly, if you want to jump on really quick so you can explain your thought process, I can send this in the chat. She's on YouTube. Yeah. She's on YouTube right now. So let me send that. Let me see.
So it's been around like for 5 years or more, but it's growing though. It's picking steam. It's picking up a lot of steam right now. And I think that is good. It's good. It's good for women. It just, they got to come from a place of authenticity. If it's just like you here to just, you know, use up a man's resources and use up people's time and use up people's attention, and you don't be pouring back, people going to find out. People going to realize that, and you're going to try to be a soft girl, and you ain't going to be. It's going to be hard to be a soft girl. All right.
And I'm sure it's been around, but it's just like with everything else. Like it's here, but it's not like thoroughly and discussed. Now we're building hashtags around it, but now it's like, why now that it's a thing and it's on YouTube? And I think part of it is because we have social media and people can tap into things and we can see things more, readily right now. You know what I mean? So I think you might be right. The Confident Woman's probably been around for a while, but because of the social media era, everybody's and she's about to jump on. Let me see here. All right, Miss Confident Woman.
Hello.
How are you? You're not showing your face today?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Shout out your actual handle for people to go follow you as well, like on Instagram.
So my YouTube page is The Confident Woman.
Okay. And what about your IG?
IG is Joyanne Panton.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead and talk about it.
So the soft girl era, it was initially called like the femininity movement. Okay. It's been around now, I would probably say 5 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe one YouTuber talked about it, commentating on a TikTok video, and that's why it's being talked about now on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
But it's been around a long time. It's not new.
Okay, all right. Now, what are your thoughts on it? I don't know if you're familiar with the kind of what's being kind of put there and in the atmosphere now. Mr. DA just, like I said, he sent me information on it. So what are your thoughts on it? Do you feel it deserve backlash, or you're like, nah, not really? You know, what's your thoughts on it?
I don't think it deserves backlash. I think if anything, it should probably be encouraged. I think that when you first start out doing anything, it's gonna be inauthentic. And then once you really embody it, then it'll become natural and authentic to you. It's just like a person saying, "Oh, I want to be an actor," and first they're envisioning themselves being famous,
Correct.
being as an actor, and then they have to practice and practice until they fully embody it.
Okay. So as it keeps going along, then it's more so, all right, it's not going to be a thing of let me see. All right, it's a movement. It's like it's an ongoing kind of thing. It's going to continue to evolve into something like whatever other movements that were going on prior to that. So that's initially what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I think it should definitely be encouraged. Like, why would you not want Black women to be softer?
Yeah, you're right, because honestly, as DA was stating, guess what? It encourages or helps the male or the family. It's not just the male. It helps the whole family because it allows, as DA was mentioning, the woman to be in that space to receive, and also to give to everybody, not just the kids, but to the husband, to her community, her church, her job, whatever the case may be. It's a totality together, so that she's good. So and in return, the male's good. So that whole entire family is good based off of that. Because guess what? If the woman's not in her space, if she's not happy, guess what? Happy wife, happy life, right? That's the whole thing. Same with relationships. Happy girlfriend, happy relationship. No, that's not a thing. But in return, it just helps out overall. So I do agree with that when it comes to it. But everybody's kind of bringing this attention to it, like the guy we just on YouTube earlier. He was, oh, child, please, you in your movement with the hot girl summer. Now it's going to be the soft girl movement. Now it's creating like a negative type of dialogue or stigma to it. So which is why everybody's having these conversations. So thought it was interesting. Happy. Look at Mr. Akil talking about some happy soul, happy man, happy soul. You're right. But the whole thing is with it, happy wife, happy heart. Ain't no such thing as happy soul then happy family. No. Or happy man, happy family. It ain't nothing like that, Mr. Akil. So it's the other way around. You know what I mean? So let's understand that, sir. But thank you, Miss Confident Woman, for your input on this. Very insightful as well. So and remember next time to follow us.
Let me ask you.
Oh, go ahead. You got a question?
So Confident Woman, do you think it's do you think that only like older women, or the older woman that's when she should begin practicing the softness, or is that something that you can practice embody? A woman can practice embody even in like her teens, in her college years. You know what I mean? Like is there a line begins and ends, or you know what I mean? Like how do you figure that plays into it?
I mean, ideally, you would want to be raised that way to where you're not hard. And, like some Black women, they might be hard based on the environment or the type of parent they had. But with the movement, I would say it's yes, there's some older people, but it's a lot of younger women. Feminism is like the approval rating of that is very low in the Gen Z generation because they've seen the negative effects it's had on their family. you know, with the mom not being there to, you know, attend the parent conference and cook and, you know, stuff like that. So I feel like it is a lot of younger women that are practicing this, and older women that, you know, they're probably trying to heal from their upbringing.
Now, and that's a good point that you're mentioning and stating, right? So earlier, before we even got on here, I told Mr. DA that when it came to that, I had a friend. She's in a situation. She's, again, a very feminine woman, and the thing is, a situation to where the father is no longer present in the household, somewhat active. And what I mean by that is somewhat active as far as financially contributing. It now forced her to do what? Become more harder. She can't practice that feminine energy. She's tired all the time. It's work events. It's you know, football, basketball, soccer, this recitals. You know, my whole thing is, where does she get to kind of enjoy herself and be feminine? In you know, within her body, she really can't. You know, it's I got to send the kids to my mom in another different state so I can come back to the state so I can enjoy myself. Because guess what? The male, as I was saying, we as male have to basically allow the woman to, you know, run deep within her soft, a girl, you know, energy, so that it's a life thing. It's not kind of a situational. All right, we're gonna have movement now, movement later. So, and that's what I was just saying. So you hit right on those points that I was making when it came to that. Women are not allowed to act in that, you know, and it's more so just one of those things. Now, Mr. Blake, he's over here shouting out over here. There comes a point in which you can't be held for others people's purpose. DA, you want to chime in on that one? But he said he begs to differ. All right.
I mean, I don't.
All right. It's all about self-development.
It's all about.
Oh, go ahead. If you're having a soulful conversation at a young age, you learn to be compassionate. Most women are only focused on protecting their feelings without realizing it's not a one for all situation.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing is, you know, it's what the confident woman said, and that is, you know, ideally we should be raising our women, we should be raising our daughters to be soft. You know what I'm saying? Not that they can't, you know, be strong when in the areas that they want to be strong, like that. I want to learn how to do business, or that I want to learn how to do this. You know what I mean? And then you're not
football or whatever.
Yeah, throw football, something like that. But at the same time, we should be raising her to be as feminine as she could possibly be in all facets of her life. If that's, you know, that's what's going to bring her happiness. And so it's like, when we're going back to, you know, being raised with compassion, it goes back to, is it being taught from mom? You know what I mean? Mom should be the foremost expert. You know what I'm saying? Grandma should be the foremost expert, right? And so are they learning it from them? You know what I'm saying? And or what are they? Or what is she learning from them? You know what I'm saying? Or
Nothing.
Not learning? You know, and
Nothing.
that's the biggest, and that's the biggest issue.
And then I think part of this issue as well, and I said this for years, men and women are missing their grandparents nowadays. Grandma back in the day, they go have those conversations, Sunday dinner, chilling, having. There ain't no more grandmas or it's a new era in grandmas. Grandmas, like my mom's a grandma, right? She in, you know, in different places. Not saying she not doing her duties and having these conversations. It's just a little different. You know what I mean? It's just a little different, right? So I'd always said this: generations right now, the new generation, they're missing their grandparents. Not most of these young kids understand going to grandma's house, having a conversation with them, being disciplined. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. I think they're missing that, and part of that is creating just a false sense of I don't know, self, or I don't know the terms I'm trying to use, but it's missing, and it's a lack. So like me not having my dad in life, I lacked a few things. You know, probably how to treat a woman growing up, and some other things, how to be a male, how to be more masculine. But that's one of those things that had to be learned as I grew older. So that's what I mean. when we don't have something, we lack something. You understand? We're missing that one piece. It's we're gonna lack it growing up as an adult. So I do say that, and it's just one of those things. It's just a trickling effect, right? If we had more of the grandmas, I don't think it'd be like a soft movement. That's just my opinion. If they were raised with them and they were involved in their life, I don't think it'll be a movement, because the grandma gonna tell you how it is, baby. This is what you respect that man.
It would have been already there. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
It would have been already there.
Cook that man the meal. Don't stress him out, because the more you stress him out, the more he gonna be stressed out. He's gonna stress everybody. It's just one of those things. They're gonna have those conversations, but those conversations it's not being had. It's not being had for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the father's gonna be teaching the son, hey, don't do this, don't act like this, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be good. And I think that's what we're getting back to, and what this conversation is almost as if there's a gap, from wherever that break happened, the gap is being bridged, right? So going into future generations, generation alpha, generation beta, meaning like the next 2 generations over the next 40 years, it's gonna almost be like they're gonna be the new retro versions of what we should have been, or we could have been, had it not been for certain changes in society that caused the major friction. And I'm not saying like women having a right to vote or things like that was wrong. We're talking about like really more so second wave, third wave feminism is when we get into the weeds of what modern feminism is, as opposed to the first wave feminism. Nobody pretty much had an issue. Like people had an issue with first wave feminism, but taken today, people are more inclined to first wave feminism as they are to second wave and third wave feminism.
No, I get it, man. So, but you're right. It is, that bridge is missing. I don't know how it's going to affect, like I say, 20, 40 years later down the road. It's all about having conversations at a young age. Oh, we already went over that one. Did you have another one? Yeah, I do agree with that. Like it is the self-development when it comes to a few things. And I don't know if we can't say all women or you said most women. What most women is what, 60-70%? I don't know what number we could put on that. But I think it's a 50-50. I don't think it's most women, right? And it depends on how they were raised, their upbringing, as we just discussed. So that's just going to be one of those things to where a poll being done and just having those conversations and figure that out. But most women, that's like saying almost all women, and I don't agree with that. Maybe 50%, yeah, I give you that, but most women no. So that's why, and you say most women are not focused on getting their feelings protected. Most women get their feelings hurt in certain situations, and then after that, they're protecting their feelings. So it's the chain reaction to what males are doing. So let's have that conversation, sir. That's that. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here. So, look, he said it's most. All right, you ain't on here to talk your trash. So if you want to get on here, the link is in the description of the chat, sir. If you want to get on, talk your crap, you can. If not, you finna bounce out and be watching the game like you are right now, because I know you got the TV on. So, so DA, what are you standing on, sir, on this topic again?
Yeah, on this topic, man, I like since the Confident Woman joined us, I'm gonna say that I'm all for it, and it should be something that just should have been instilled from childhood. But even if you miss that lesson in childhood, if you want to get into it in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, I'm all here for it.
Okay, Confident Woman, what are you standing on?
I definitely think it should be encouraged, and if anyone is worried about it not being authentic, I feel like people can only pretend for so long. So you can, vet people and weed them out, but it should definitely be encouraged.
Hey, Rex, I agree. So, like you say, people could pretend only for so long, and I've been in a situation like that, right? And this is a rule of thumb, right? I think people should practice this, but it's just a thing that I practice and it never steered me wrong, right? So in a relationship with someone, and I've always said there are always two sides of people. Look at my number, y'all. Two sides of people, not one, two. What's the first one? The representative. That's the first one. Is always the representative in most cases. And then the second person is that real individual, that person, how they really true, how they really feel about you. And I got with them, everything's cool. I say, who is that second person? Nah, it's me. I'm the first one. Ain't no second person. Still steady going. Hey, who is that second person? Blake just jumped on, so I guess he got something to say. So hold on. Let me finish his point. Who is the second person? Nope, no second person. All right, steady struggling. A few things happen. Guess what? That second person came out. So that's all I got to say. People always have two people, two representatives. So guess what? It should always show, right? If you don't see that second person, you better run. So, all right, Mr. Kill Blake, you want to give your thought because we are wrapping up, sir. And as I said, you must have heard what I said when I said to talk about the game and all that. So, but go ahead and give your thoughts, sir.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Talk to the people.
I was not watching the game, but I think here's the reality. And I'm a double. If you really take time out to really look at society right now, and black males for the most part, we all know the father figure plays, and the women also plays a big role in the home too. When I was dating in a dating game, I will always ask a woman what type of relationship she has with her father. Is her father actively in her life? And two, in her life from youth going up. And the answer was no to both of them. So one that told me generalize. I'm not saying all, but it kind of put me in a boat to where she don't understand possibilities, understands what it means to be committed to whatever the situation is, and have the mental fortitude to keep. That's what sports teach you long term, right? In the structure of seeing a family, even if the man is not in the house, but seeing the male presence overall will give you that domino that okay, there's a pecking order. The women is pretty much responsible for the foundation within the house. Say so too at the same time. So when you come across this generation right now, where all about instant gratification, you work, you graduate from high school, you go to trade school, you go graduate working. Only thing we think about is money. The soulful the conversations in the aspect of what's the nature of your character? How do you like? What are some of the things that you come across from a certain man? Do you see certain characteristics and qualities in father, or that you would want in one of your father of your kid, or anything like that? The reality situation is until we start seeing those things and having more of saying, hey, listen, I know I know I didn't grow up with my father. However, I still have examples, some coaches that I had. I still have male figures in my life. For example, these conversations with me. You know what I mean? Because the man gonna be straight up, nah, baby, you don't want to do that. Nah. And this false sense of reality is to get some totality of reality, because it's not an absolute situation. A woman to be mad at one, no, it's not absolute. If you be mad about this, that's it, not everything else. So that's happy woman, happy soul. You got to hold yourself accountable to make yourself happy. You'll be codependent on someone else's validation.
Yeah. So with that, so when you say that, right, when you get with someone, they shouldn't make you happy. They should do what? Add to your happiness. You
value.
Understand?
Correct.
So exactly, add value to it. So that whole thing about the adding, or they don't make me happy. No. You don't make yourself happy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the first and foremost. I'm supposed to add to it. I ain't supposed to make you. You're supposed to be happy within yourself. I'm just supposed to come along and do what? Add to your happiness, multiply your happiness, not subtract, multiply, add to it. That's it. So, but like, and that's what you said about having accountability on yourself as an individual. That's basically what you get to. Okay, I got you. So what do you think about when it comes to this backlash? Do you even know about this movement? When it comes to the soft girl movement, you heard about it, or you just came?
No, give me a small 2-second recap on it.
Break a small synopsis of it real quick.
Soft girl movement is about, you know, women being more into their feminine, you know, more into confident woman. Can you put it in better terms than me? Because I'm struggling right now.
All right, hold on. And I'm a preface this message, Kill, by basically what they believe the soft girl movement. It was a message or like a slogan, or you know, when it comes to so more than just a soft aesthetic. This trend motivates us toward a soft lifestyle, one that focuses on relaxation, leisure, purpose, space to explore hobbies, unlocking our creativity, and spending time in and around nature. And then, confident woman, you can expound on that as well. Is she there? Okay. All right. So based on that, Blake, go ahead.
I think that's a movement that's much needed, and I'm gonna put it to you like this: and boyfriends and things of that nature, we play an intricate role in that.
Why is that?
Well, because
we do.
Because talk about nature. You know what I mean? Instead of having those conversations, like, and I heard you say that DA said it, or you said it. The grandma is not present in the home right now. These folklore lessons and things of that nature. So guess what? Instead of having those conversations after dinner, why not go for a walk? Go for a walk around the block. That's bonding with nature. That's phones, no anything like that, but you bonding and you talking more from a soulful standpoint. Rhythm. You get your minds in rhythm, right? That's one. Two, every once in a while, you may want to sit there and say, hey, baby, go ahead, get your little pedicure, manicure, or whatever the case, but get your massage. Get yourself away from, divorce yourself from the senseless insecurities that remind everybody of no, and focus on the inner aspects and the deeper aspect of yourself. Being in tune with her feminine nature, being in tune with her input, output, how far she radiate, how far she glow, is intricate as far as the family being structured and the souls of man being purpose.
No, I agree with that, and I did say that they gotten away from having their grandparents, and that's a missing component in little boys, adults' life, and little girls and women's life. It's a bridge. That bridge is missing. I had my grandparents in my life, and I spent most of my time over there. Guess what? I learned no ma'am, yes ma'am, no sir, all those respect thing. I was in college. I spoke to my grandma every single day. Every single day.
But check this out though. But think about it like this. The fact that when you was young enough to process it, and you was actually conscious to realize, like, damn, this is my mother's mother. That just gave back right there in itself.
Yeah.
Like, this is my mother's mother. So, whoa. If I'm respecting my mother, I got to respect my grandmother 2 times the more level of respect. The person that really could override what the old girl said was who?
Grandmother. Exactly. So, but that's the thing. Ain't nobody overriding mothers. You know what I mean? These women that we getting with and that, or dating or whatever, who they look up to. Figure out who your grandma, and you spoke on something. You say, oh well, the grandmother's not in their life, or the dad's not in their life. See whether it's the granddaddy there. Ask the question: is your granddaddy around? You still talk to him? Is your grandma? Do you still talk to her? That, and you brought that's you hit on something. You hit on what? Okay, you talking to a girl? See what you still see talking to her daddy. Nah, skip that. Well, don't skip it.
Mhm.
Add to it. Where your granddaddy at? Where your grandmama at? Now you can get into you know, and overall you can put into a sense you ain't really having them conversations, or you listen to your homegirls or your mom. Where your mom at? If she's married, who she with? Those conversations. So you can get a glimpse of it, or you can go around about and just kind of just fall into it and just learn from you know, the situations and it'll be turmoil for you. Those are some other ways you can figure that out. You know what I mean? But if you're having these conversations, guess what? You can figure it out. Only if they're telling the truth, though. They ain't telling the truth. They lying about it. That's a different story.
You know,
So.
but that's what I'm saying. Look, in order for that to happen, like so put us let's say 5. I'm gonna say 6 to 5. Most young men playing sports, going outside, girls in the home playing Barbie doll, watching mama do whatever she do. Right? It's until you really get to middle school and high school when you start seeing the individual aspect of oneself start to develop. You identify. For most guys, we playing sports. We playing football in the streets. We playing activist football, so chili, Then you got your pretty girl that's just in the school, whatever the case may be. Right? Then you flip it, and so all that time when you had either or the mothers in the house, they guess what? They watching the mother or the grandma prepare the dinner. They watching organize the home as far as bills. They watching the mother or the grandma have conversation, them wisdom pearl. So they physically there, but they mentally digest going on, and guess what? It's feeding into their subconscious mind, and then from there, since those seeds have been planted, they can just keep growing with that. Right?
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right, man. But that's the thing, though. The conversation I had, they ain't at Sunday dinners with a whole family getting together and just having. It's not like that. The family dynamic is a little different now. Do some people still practice those things? Sunday dinner, everybody come to the house. I don't care if you're mad at your cousin. My granddad, you better come to the house, or I'm getting on your ass. That's how my granddaddy was. Everybody, when he died, all air dysfunction. Everybody go there. We having 2 family reunions instead of 1 because he died. And I said, you know what? If my granddaddy was still alive, y'all would we be doing this? No. So why the hell we doing it then? You know what I mean? So that just means he was a staple in the family, and that's missing in a lot of families. You have a staple. Like no matter what they call, they do. Hey, you better be there. That's your ass. And we don't have that right. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Bro, me and my cousins used to fight, and everybody used to be in turmoil. But you at the family dinner. I don't care if you show up an hour before it's over. You showing up. Well, he ain't your ass. He having a conversation. They're tough one. You know what I mean? And it's not had right now. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna see that uptick in a lot of dysfunction, bro. And it's already started though. It's been started. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's been started. So, but that's it, man. We're gonna end that note, man. Listen, make sure y'all go follow us on all platforms: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, everything. Y'all make sure y'all share this live. Make sure y'all let someone else know about the next or 2 weeks that we're gonna be doing the show. We should either have our rock shirts or our mental health professional on here, giving us a viewpoint on mental health, which we keep talking about it. And I'm telling y'all, we're gonna bring them on. Young lady I know out of high school. She has her own practice here in Orlando, Florida. So I'm gonna bring her on for sure. And also I rock shirt. So that's all I have, guys. Y'all be great and see y'all till next time. Deuces.
Peace.